Alright, this is Henry again, and this is part 1 of my review of the Master Grade Gundam Sandrock EW. So this is what the Master Grade Sandrock is going to look like straight out of the box, snapped together, no paint, no panel lines, no stickers, nothing. So these are the colors you're going to get. As you can see, we get white, we get pretty much your standard inner frame gray, yellow, and red, and we get 2 different shades of gray for the outer armor. We get this lighter shade of gray for the skirt armor and the backpack, and then we get a kind of a dark bluish gray for the torso, wrists, and the feet. So I'm not sure if I'll stick with those colors when I get around to painting, but we'll see. Anyway, included with this kit, you get a shield, a beam submachine gun, you get 2 heat shortails, or showtails, however you want to pronounce it, with 2 different options for the blades. You get 2 silver blades, as well as 2 clear red blades. This kit does have the EW hands, so if I can get them over here, you're going to get several different options for the different fingers. You get an action-based connector, 2 small figures of catcher-winner, 1 standing, 1 in the cockpit, and you do get a few leftover parts with this kit. Don't be alarmed. I mean, the upper part of the shoulders and skirt armor and a couple other parts. I've noticed a lot of people have a tendency sometimes to freak out when they have leftover parts because they think they're supposed to go on the kit when they really aren't. Well, just check in the manual in the parts rundown section. It'll tell you any parts that aren't going to be used in the kit, they'll be X'd out. And last but not least, we'll get a small sheet of foil stickers for the eyes, various cameras on the head, red cameras that go on the shield, and then these 2 white stickers will go on the shield as well. And then we get a sheet of dry transfer decals and a sheet of clear stickers. Alright, now that side of the way, let's go ahead and get on with articulation. Now the head is not going to be able to go 360 because of these things on the shoulders, but it can go about that far to each side. You've got a bit of up and down, it's got a double jointed neck with a hinge and a ball joint. A little bit of the chicken neck action. The shoulders have got the same shoulder joint every other wing EW kit has had. They go forward, move the shoulder that way, and it can go really far forward, so I don't think you're going to have any trouble at all doing Sandrock's little heat shortail move that you see on the side of the box. Shoulder armor can go up and down by itself. This little flap moves. Right here, you've got a function that's not really that helpful on this kit, but obviously that shows that we're going to be getting a Sandrock Kai in the future that's going to have the cape attachment. Let's see, 360 at the below the shoulder. You get a double jointed elbow, but you're not going to get quite 180 degrees. I chalk it up to this forearm being so blocky and bulky, but it's obviously much more 90 degrees, but not quite 180. Anyway, you've got a double jointed torso, you've got a ball joint at the waist, and then a ball joint at mid-torso. The ball joint at mid-torso doesn't really give you a lot, though. It's not going to give you much, but from that waist joint you're going to get pretty much anything you would need. Not 360 at the waist because of this back skirt. Anyway, the cockpit hatch will open up like so. Can't really see down in there, but there is a tiny little catcher sitting in there. Each of the skirt armors is on a ball joint, so they can go up and down and wiggle. Front skirts are on actually like a ball joint and a hinge, so they're like double jointed. Back skirts can go up. The hips are on the same EW hip joint, so they can go forward and back and out to the side as far as the ball joints will let them without popping off. Haven't really noticed a problem with the skirt armor popping off on this kit, so that's good. Some of the earlier EW kits suffered from that problem. Double jointed knees can bend a full 180. This little thingy on the end of the knee armor moves up and down when you bend the knee. The ankle armor and foot are on kind of a double ball joint, so that's going to be able to go side to side, forward and back, rotate a little bit, and then the foot does the same thing, up and down, side to side, forward and back. Rotate. and the foot has got a hinge in the middle of it, which can let it go up just a little bit and then down. And there actually is a little bit of articulation at the backpack. These mounts for the heat shore tails can go swivel up and down and then move back and forth like so. You got these little flaps. All of these thrusters are on ball joints, but they don't really move around very much. The ball joints are mainly just to hold them in place. They don't really move hardly at all. Alright, so I think that just about does it for articulation. How did I forget the hands? I forgot the hand articulation. But if you built a EW wing master grade before, then you should be familiar with these hands already. Ball joint wrist, ball joint thumb, and then, like usual, the fingers will swap out for various fixed pose fingers, like so. And you get a set of closed fists, which you just saw, a set of open palms, and two different set of weapon hands. Let's see. You've got, one set of weapon hands that has a peg in the hand, and then another set that does not have a peg. So you got two options. Honestly, you're probably not going to be using these at all, because the beam submachine gun and the heat shore tails both have a hole for that peg to go into, so this is probably the one you're going to be using the most. And here's a quick look at the inner frame. Obviously it's going to be very, very similar to the inner frames of the other EW master grades, but there it is. A few differences are the knee armor is obviously going to be different. He doesn't have any inner frame for the side skirts. That part was on the runner, but it wasn't used. And then, obviously, he's got different skirt armor, inner frame parts, the chest, the head's going to be different, and he's got an inner frame for the backpack, pretty much a full inner frame for the backpack, so that's a nice touch. But anyway, that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, so that about does it for part 1, so just make sure to come back for part 2, where I'll take a look at Sandrock's weapons and accessories, and we'll get to take a look at this thing when it's completely painted up with all the decals applied and all that fancy stuff. So, with that, I'll see you guys next time.